Morning, Rhoda.
Hey,
Good to see you.
hi, Gloria. Welcome.
Well, I do not see Joe and Gloria.
I see their icon
Right.
on my screen. They haven't hit the button yet, I guess.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
How are you?
You're obviously not
Good.
Joe.
No, I'm Gloria. Thank you
You
for
could be Joe.
inviting me.
You could be Joe. You could be.
Not spelled J-O-E though.
Right. That is correct.
I have
Yeah,
a granddaughter whose name
Is
is
that right?
Joe and hers is spelled J-O. So
Okay. Not a problem. Not a problem.
It is
Glad-
raining here, Gloria.
I'm
Could be.
glad to be here this morning. So I'm probably going to be on mute, but I've got crazy things going on today. My daughter is a principal at a private school who's a couple of blocks away from us, and their internet is out. So they may be coming here to do classes today. We'll see.
When you say here, you mean your home?
Yes.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hey, Kimberly, how you doing?
Excellent, Keith. How are you today?
Good. I'm good.
The mom taxi didn't drive today. The dad taxi drove today.
Okay.
So
Good morning, Missy.
Good morning.
Okay. No problem. No problem. Okay, we'll give this thing a couple more minutes here. I like to start on time. I've got about, should be about 8 or 9 people on, but we try to keep things on time so that people can get to whatever appointments, etc. I'll wait for a couple more people to come in and then we'll get it rolled. Yeah, here it comes. Here we go. Hey, Marianne.
Good morning.
Good. I got one more person.
Good
Gang
morning.
of people this morning.
Hi, Kim. Hey, Rhoda. Hey, Gloria.
Hi.
Hi, Marianne.
hi, Adele.
Good morning, Missy.
Morning.
Good morning, Keith and Zach.
Okay. Hey, what we're going to go ahead and do is as people join in, they'll just be joining in because I don't see all the heads yet. So we'll go ahead and get started because people are coming in. The way we like to start this thing is, first off, I'd like to say good morning to everyone. Thank you for meeting with us, CBN Circle Business Network this morning. It's good to see a lot of faces and a lot of heads today. So what we normally do is we'll go around and take about a minute or so, and I'll introduce you by name. And if you'll just give us a minute or so of who you are and what your business is and what city you're speaking from, I'd appreciate it. And the way I do it is I do it by the way I see your heads on my screen. So if you don't mind, I'm going to start with Rhoda Israelov. We'll probably have people dropping in. All right.
Morning, everyone. I'm so happy to see some of my invitees coming back for a second helping. That's great, or a third helping. My company is Say It For You, and we are a team of ghost writers that create the copy that you read on a good website and on a great blog. So we say it for you.
Thank you, Rhoda. Gloria, if you would, please.
Good morning. I'm Gloria Thomas from Columbus, Ohio. And my business is Dream Trips. It's the world's #1 travel app. And what we do is help people vacation or travel really anywhere they want to go at discounted prices. So the world's greatest travel app, and Gloria Thomas.
Thank you, Gloria. Kimberly, if you would, please.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kim Gilbert. My business name is Gilbert Business Consulting. I'm based in New Hampshire, Fitzwilliam, New Hampshire, so in the southern part of the state. My company focuses on helping tradesmen smooth over the whole process of working inside homes and businesses that are occupied by their customers. I smooth over those awkward, sometimes uncomfortable situations where you have people working in your house while you're home. I can be reached on LinkedIn, and that's where I like best to connect with people. So if you want to reach me, I'm on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Thank you. Missy, we're going to skip you because I want to save you for last so that you can give your intro and go right into your talk. Mary Ann, if you would, please.
Sorry about that. I'm Mary Ann Yates and I own Elder Moves or EM Transitions. We're getting all the women first. All right.
Where it popped up on the screen, Mary Ann.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's just, it makes me feel like, it's that old fashioned, let the girls go, So anyway, that we help people go through transitioning. We decorate, organize, sort, downsize, and then we ready the home for sale if that's necessary.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Alex Gray.
Hi, my name's Alex Gray. I own a company called Opine Interactive, and we do website and email hosting.
All righty. Adele, please.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Adele Bush, ASB Business Services LLC, coming to you live from Columbus, Ohio. I know Gloria very well. She's a lovely lady, and I'm glad to see her. ASB Business Services is a unique business insofar as that we help you go from your ideal client to your dream client. When was the last time you really had accurate information about the people that you'd like to contact in companies? Maybe you've made a lot of contacts, emails bounced, not the right person. If this is your frustration, let me know and I'll be happy to help you. We do business research and prospect development in addition to phone calls, and we'd love to help you find that dream client through business research and prospect development. Adele Bush, ASB Business Services LLC.
Thank you so much, Adele. Mike.
I'm here. Sorry about that.
That's all right, Mike.
Computer challenge this morning. So good morning. I'm Mike Chambers, longtime CBN member here in Indianapolis. Recently retired as an independent insurance agent with Central Insurance Associates.
Thank you. John Vandersall.
Hi, good morning. John Vandersall, Indianapolis. My residential real estate agent with FC Tucker. FC Tucker is the oldest and largest in the state of Indiana, and one of the oldest and largest in the country. So John Vandersall, FC Tucker.
Thank you so much. Diane, if you would, please give us about a 1-minute intro.
Okay, absolutely. Diane Wingirter, the career strategist, author of Hunting to Hired. It's a book that takes the reader all the way through the journey of going from hunting to hired. So where to go, what to say, what to do, all of those components are wrapped up in the book. So I want to give my readers an opportunity to have a strategy by design and not by default. Diane Wingirter, the trade show doctor and the career strategist.
Thank you so much. Zach Fox.
Zach Fox, Edward Jones Investments. People define their goals, help them feel informed and in control with their finances.
Thank you so much. And David, if you would, please, and please make sure you tell us what city you're from.
My turn, did you say?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
you're our only David this week.
Well, I was a little late this morning. Sorry, I'm Dave Garrison. I
okay.
live near Indianapolis, south of town. I'm with Mutual Omaha Mortgage, and I work with wealth advisors and the age 62-year-old and over demographic to utilize housing wealth for retirement income purposes.
Good morning. Good to see all you guys. The way we like to keep this thing rolling is we like to start with at least one positive business event that happened for someone on the screen with their business this week. And if I don't get a volunteer, then I take a draftee. That's just the kind of guy I am. So if someone will just raise their hand and give us at least one positive business experience that we had this week, please. Okay, if nobody else has got one, I have one that's really, really good. One of our members, a guy, Mike, who's not on, he's a landscaper, so he's gone during the summertime, always talks to us about staying in contact with the client. Adele, whatever way you choose, call them, email them, roll them over with the lawnmower, it doesn't matter, but just stay in contact with them. And it's fortunate, I've had a client who has moved to 4 different businesses, and each time she moves, she keeps calling me. So either I'm doing something right or she doesn't know what she's doing. But my point is, I do communicate back and forth via email with my clients. and just try to just stay in contact with. And sometimes it's only, hey, how you doing? Are you still alive this week in Corona? You know, it's just little small things. But my point is, as small business owners and as business owners, you know, that key concept of staying in contact with that person or with that individual or with that organization, you know, that's just something you just want to keep in mind and keep it rolling. So that's my spiel for the week. Anybody else got something else? Rhoda, please.
Hey, Keith, I had a couple of referrals this week from current clients. So it was really refreshing to get those referrals and family members from current clients. So I'm excited about meeting with them next week.
Rhoda.
I hit two interesting numbers this month. One is that my monthly first of the month newsletter that goes out through MailChimp, this next one coming up will be number 100. In the blogging, as many of you know, the one blog that I write where I'm not a ghost, I am Rhoda Israelov, is my Say It For You blog that I post every Tuesday and Wednesday, every Tuesday and Thursday. And today, number 1679 is going live.
Okay. Wow, 1,600. That's a bunch. That's a bunch. All right, anybody else got a comment here? Okay. Hey, when people don't have comments, then I have questions. John, bring me up on my real estate. How's it doing? Do I need to jump off a cliff or anything this week?
No, we need to sell your house, Keith.
Oh,
You need to sell your house and then buy a couple rental properties and get that passive income. You like passive income, right?
I like it best.
Yeah, you know, yeah, we're still low inventory. It's and slowing a bit down right now. I have 2 listings right now, and people are still coming out to take a look. Had 2 showings yesterday and 1 showing today. So the buyers they're still out there amidst rain and October. You know, I'll tell you a little insight too. I guess one of my, you can call it a win for the week. So with the low inventory, one answer is, and it's not always the right answer, but one answer is new construction. So I have one buyer who's looking for a unicorn. So I reached out, you know, it gave me the opportunity to reach out to a couple builders and check in and see where they are and what they have.
Mary Ann, she's just talking away. Mary Ann, you're muted. All righty. Well, let's see what we can do to help her out.
Okay, well, we got that. Well, you know, what can I say? On the note that John, to jump off of what John was saying, I have my current rental rented till June, and I just signed a new lease for 2 more years for another cut group. So I actually have it rented for 3 years.
It's good. Yeah, it's you know, the opportunity to make income during COVID. You have to take advantage of that where you can here. So I want to take at least another minute or so, and then we're going to move to Missy. Does anybody else got anything positive that they want to talk about? Because we can always talk about bad stuff after this was over. You call your friends up about that. Kim, she likes to be called Kim, people.
It's true. So I accidentally got passive income this week for the first time ever. I sold a product to a customer of mine, and I got a payment for it for just an affiliate program that I didn't know existed. So that was my first experience with passive income. I kind of like it. It was really easy. I need to do some more of that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's easy, but it's nice. That's for sure. That's for sure.
It was.
So
that was my good story for the week.
Good. Yeah, so we like to, at CBN, we like to get to know each other, and we like to focus on the positive. Like I say, call your friends up if you want to talk about a lot of negative stuff. There's a lot of negative stuff going on. We understand it. That's the real world. We'll get that. But we like to focus on your business and being positive about your business. So with that, I want to stay on the clock here. Missy, you will now be able to introduce yourself and give us our topic. We have a nice crowd this morning. So if you could save us, at least 5 to 10 minutes toward the end. So if anybody has any questions, all right. With that, it's the Missy Parrish Show.
So good morning. I'm listening to all of you and I'm loving everything that I'm hearing because a lot of it will go along so well with what we're going to talk about today. I also need to probably learn some things from you because I'm here for free. So I need to figure out how to start making some of this money you guys are making. So I'd love to talk to you guys today about LinkedIn. So I'm here in the Indianapolis market as well. And this is something that I do on the side. It kind of started off strange. I worked for a company called Interactive Intelligence. It's been since purchased. And I started learning everything there was to learn about LinkedIn and social selling because I trained sales reps from all over the world. And so I started to have groups. We have a group here in town called the Orr Fellowship. I met Zach because I had went and presented to the University of Dayton alumni group. So I've had little groups like this that have asked me to come present because it seems to be a very niche topic that we can talk about regarding LinkedIn and how you can up your LinkedIn game. And I've taken some really nice notes. I think there's a lot of you that either seem to really enjoy LinkedIn or could really benefit from it, right? Gloria, I'm sitting there thinking, if you were putting out vacation things and I'm looking on LinkedIn, and I am busy and stretched thin, I'm going to love looking into your vacation because how many times are we at work and that's what we want to do, right? We think, I need a vacation. So, I think there's lots of opportunities here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here real quick if I can figure out how to do it here on Zoom.
Yeah, you should be good because
There
you're
we
a
go.
co-host now.
Perfect. Thank you. Can you guys see my LinkedIn?
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you for the head nods. I appreciate it. So you guys are now over on my other screen. So I'm not going to be able to see you because I want you to be able to see my screen. So I'm going to kind of keep looking over here. So we have LinkedIn here. I just was going to give you a quick walkthrough. Like I said, I've been doing this since 2013. And I'll tell you one of the most amazing things to me about LinkedIn then versus LinkedIn now is one, LinkedIn's constantly changing. And so there's always things that are happening, moving, shaking. But when I started this journey, there were about 250 million people on LinkedIn. And to me at the time, that seemed very impressive, right? That's a very large number. And now there's 700 million. And at the beginning of 2020, there were 650 million. So just in this year of change, we've had 50 million new people join onto LinkedIn. And to me, that makes a lot of sense, right? There's been a lot of ingrowths on using tools like LinkedIn because of the situation we find ourselves in with COVID. You can't turn on the news. You can't look at, the top story here on my LinkedIn profile is all about COVID-19. And that's really changed everybody's business and our strategies. But I think that this is going to be a place where you can start to grow some of your business and have a network that's constant, right? You have this group, which is fantastic, but you guys meet Thursday mornings. So this is going to be a way to pull that networking out through your entire week. And sometimes people look at LinkedIn more on the weekends, whether you think about that or not. Think about it. You've sat down for the day. You think, gosh, I'm going to look at a couple of things on LinkedIn. You've got your glass of wine. The pressures feel a little bit less because it's Saturday and you don't have the work world pushing down on you. I was going to walk through, if you guys are okay with it, just a couple of tips for your profile and maybe some tips for what you can do on LinkedIn itself to really help grow out your network. And the first thing that we really have to do is we have to start looking at ourselves. So Diane, you talked about being a career strategist. So I'm curious as to how I line up with things that you've written about and that you help your clients with. But the first thing is that we need to look good, right? People come and look at your LinkedIn profile. For any of you that are on the call and have a LinkedIn profile, you probably saw me stalking you. I know Rhoda caught me stalking her. So I did go out and look at your guys' profiles to see what I could find. Some of you I couldn't find, some of you I could. But there's always the offer there that if you have questions, contact me. If you're wanting to grow your network, this is the greatest thing right now. You have an instant connection right here. So if you haven't sent me a connection request, make sure that you do. So with my screen up here and on LinkedIn, I'm going to go ahead and click on my profile. And if you guys don't have a LinkedIn profile, the things that I'm sharing with you will make it so much easier to go in and create one, right? You're going to have that nice recipe instead of creating a profile and going, now what? I don't know what to do. So we're going to start with this top little box because honestly, I feel like this is the most important part. And why is that? Well, this is the first thing that people see. And like I mentioned earlier, people come and look at your LinkedIn profile. If it's somebody you meet at your kid's school, maybe it's a barbecue, maybe it's a networking event, this is our first go-to. We go to look to see who you are. So we want to make sure that we're sending a really nice message about who we are, and we can do that right here from the top. So let's talk first about the picture piece. So we always say, don't judge a book by its cover. And honestly, LinkedIn's the opposite of that, right? We're doing exactly just that. So you want to make sure that if at all possible, you have a professional headshot. I'm not advocating for you guys to go out and spend $200 on a professional photographer right now. We live in a day and age where we've got fantastic pieces of device and equipment at our hands at all times where we can take a picture and probably make it pretty good. So if you are at an event though, if you go to a networking event, once the world opens back up and you have the chance to get a professional picture, don't go, well, gosh, I should have curled my hair, or I'm not sure about my outfit. Just take it. Always take the free picture, right? Especially if it's free, because free is good. Rule of thumb with your picture, not only should it be professional, but it should be 2 years or newer. And I will tell you guys, so I mentioned that I started this in 2013, and at the time my picture was from 2006. And I had to have a really tough conversation with myself because 2006 Missy looked a lot better than 2013 Missy. And so, that's tough, right? It's hard to have that talk with yourself and make the change. But when you're going out and meeting with clients, they want to meet you. They want to see who you are and what you really look like. And a lot of times that's where we're going to go first. If I'm going to meet with somebody that I've never met in person, maybe I'm meeting up at Starbucks to have a coffee and talk about a business venture. I'm going to go try to find a picture of that person because it makes us more comfortable. We have an instant level of trust if we can see somebody's face, and we feel more confident about that meeting. So definitely, if you don't have one, get a picture up there because that's what people come to look for. The background picture is something that LinkedIn added in probably about 4 years ago. It's just an extra something. You'll notice that a lot of companies will have their own banner or graphic created that advertises on behalf of their company. It really doesn't matter what you want to do, and it's very simple to go find. If you were to run a Google search and just type in LinkedIn background images, you'll be able to find a library of tons of different images there. And if you don't know how to add that image in, to save it from Google and then to add it back into your LinkedIn, send me a quick message. It's really easy. I'm not going to spend time doing it today because I want to be mindful of the time frame that we have. But this is a place for you to showcase who you are. I think we get really bogged down sometimes on LinkedIn that it's a professional site and it has to be professional. And yes, it absolutely does. But it's also a place for you to highlight who you are as a person, because I'm coming here to LinkedIn to learn about you. It doesn't sound like any of us are in the market for new jobs, right? We all have our own professional careers. We own our own businesses. So when we're creating a profile, it's not for the goal of getting a new job. It's for the goal of getting people to come here and learn about us. So use this as a place where you can do that. If you like to ski, perfect. Put a picture of somebody skiing. Maybe it's a picture of you skiing that's a panoramic view. A lot of us are in the Indianapolis market. Maybe you want to put the Indianapolis skyline. There's lots of different pieces that you can put out there to really kind of accentuate who you are. So those are the two pieces for pictures. And those are probably the easiest things that you can do. So we're going to roll down. You should have your name on there. That goes without fail. Sometimes I get questions, should I have my maiden name? Probably not, unless you have a lot of connections as a female that might know your maiden name. So just make sure that you have your current name there. I've highlighted this area here that's called your headline. For a lot of us, it probably has our job title. And that's a default that happens automatically within LinkedIn. But that was never what LinkedIn intended it to be. That's why it's called your headline. So the option that you have here is really two different schools of thought. One, you can have like I have, where you have keywords sprinkled throughout so that somebody starts to understand more of what I can do for them. So my title is Sales Learning Manager, which probably means nothing to most people, right? And in most companies, titles are they're very benign. They don't matter. They're more on a pay grade level. It might differ from company to company. So this is really a way to not have to worry about your title and give what you can do for people. So you can either have a sprinkling of those keywords of things that you can do to help them, or you can have more of that elevator pitch. All of us have an elevator pitch, right? And I heard all of you give your elevator pitches this morning. You have that quick little 30-second intro when you meet somebody where you explain what you do and what you can do for them. So it's basically the concept of helping X to do Y. And you're putting that in here as your elevator pitch on your profile, because then I'm going to know what you can do for me. You know, John, I'm going to pick on you for a minute. So you're in real estate. How are we going to set you apart from any other realtor in the Indianapolis market, right? What can you do for somebody? You know, you talked about, you know, how you were helping the customer who had that unicorn, you know, helping my clients find the perfect home so that they can start their new beginning. Something along those lines would be fantastic, because it now personalizes you and doesn't just say John Realtor, right? So think about those things as options. Our goal is to always have our accurate location. So for me and for a lot of you, right, we all said we are in the Indy market. So I don't live in Indianapolis, right? I live in Carmel, but I'm not going to put that on my profile. I'm going to put the generalized area because that makes more sense. And that's where a lot of my customers and clients are going to be located. Same for any of you who are in other states. Kind of do that localized area unless it's very specific that you have that specific city. So, you know, most cities, Indianapolis, Atlanta, Chicago, we've all got regions around it, right? But you're typically going to say you're from Indianapolis, you're from Chicago, you're from Atlanta. So think about that when you're putting your location on there, because that makes more sense to people who are looking for that close connection of the nearest location. 500 connections is where LinkedIn stops showing how many connections you have. So if you're at 499, it's going to say 499 and then anything below that. There's really no rhyme or reason. You know, as business people, you're going to want to have more connections, and I would probably make it a goal. My thought is business cards are a little passé. Yeah, they're nice to have, but I can lose a business card, and I can lose it pretty easily. And I lose a lot of things very easily. So your clients probably do too. So you want to make sure that if you've got this with you all the time, right? We always have these in our hands. I don't care where you go, and I don't want to know about it, but you always have it with you. So if you've got that right there with you, make sure that you're adding that client, immediately into LinkedIn, because now you're not going to lose them, because we don't typically lose our phones. Business cards, yes. Phones, no. So I would add in that connection. Contact info, I'm going to click on this because I don't think a lot of people realize that you can come in and click here. I'm going to tell you that I would suggest putting your contact information in two places. Right here, it should always be up to date. Make sure that you've got your accurate information, but we're also going to put that into our About section, and I'll tell you why. One, because people aren't smart enough to click onto the contact info. And it's not for a lack of intelligence, it's a lack of knowledge. Most people just don't realize that you can click there. But you still want to make sure that you have this here, that you have it accurate. So you might notice that, I don't know if any of you are clicking on your profiles as we're walking through, but you can actually edit your URL. So what I mean when I say that is, when you signed up for LinkedIn, whether it was in 2002 when LinkedIn started, or if it's tomorrow, LinkedIn's going to assign to you a generic URL, which is your web address. So for a lot of you, it probably says Marianne Yates -0A5737. It's got some sort of number letter combination at the end of it. You can take that dash out and make it a nice clean URL. Why? Well, it looks nicer if I see this. I always teach my sales reps, so all of you are in sales, right, in some form or fashion. I always teach my sales reps that that's a really nice place that you can go and take a quick look. And if they've personalized their URL, it shows you that if you connect with them or contact them on LinkedIn, they're going to be more likely to contact you back because they are LinkedIn savvy, because they knew how to go in and do that. Either that or they have somebody like me in their company, which typically doesn't happen. So that's a good tell that they're going to be home on LinkedIn, right? So you can easily do that. I'll show you where you can click. If you have a website, make sure you have that there, right? That's amazing to have your email. If you're active on any other social sites and you want to add those, you can. And then you can also add your birthday. Let's talk about this strategy for a minute. This is a professional site. It's not Facebook. Why would I have my birthday? Well, Keith had made a really good comment at the beginning of this that, you want to stay in front of your customers. You want to remember your customers. How can you reach out to them? Birthdays are fantastic. I love my birthday. And I don't know if you've noticed that my birthday's next week. I'll give you guys my address at the end of the call. But if you want, then you can take the time to celebrate that person's birthday. And even if you just send them a quick message on LinkedIn, people like that. We like to talk about ourselves. We like when people remember us. We like when we're celebrated. So this is a chance for you to celebrate that client and go, oh, hey, Kimberly, I'm so, happy birthday. And you remember that person because we like to feel remembered. So that's going to give you that advantage when you're working here on LinkedIn, okay? As well, then if you put your birthday out there, a client that maybe you've been having trouble connecting with, maybe you hadn't heard from them, if they write to you and respond, now you have that warm connection back in to start that conversation again. So it's just about playing the game of what can I do to make sure that I'm remembered. And like I said, I like my birthday, so I like for it to be celebrated. So we have that going for us too. Remember I said that our contact information, we're also going to put in our about section, and we'll scroll to that here in a second. You can have your current company, your education, all of that's up here. The little pencils are how you're going to change everything in LinkedIn. So if you wanted to change your image, if I click the pencil here next to more, this is where it's going to open up the option for me to make all of the changes up here in this top box. All right. So I can make any of those changes and edits. I'm going to discard. We don't need to change anything. I told you that I would show you where to edit your URL. It's up here in the upper right corner. If it was a snake, it would bite you in the face because you're going to miss it every time because we don't look over here. We stay over here on this left-hand side. This is not something that we go and click and look at. I will tell you that when you click on it, it does take you to a new page. You get the option to change it. It's going to, when you go to save it, it's going to yell at you and say, wait, somebody else was on a different device. Nobody was on a different device. It was you. You're okay. So a couple of tips about changing your URL. Kimberly or Kim, I'm going to pick on you again real quick. So Kim's name is Kim Gilbert. If she wanted to change her profile, she might go in and put in Kim Gilbert, and it might give her a little red that says, nope, somebody already has that. And Kim goes, damn it. So then she types in Kimberly Gilbert. She's like, I don't really want Kimberly. I don't go by Kimberly. I'm not a Kimberly. And it goes, nope, sorry, you can't have that one either. My best tip for you guys is either to put a dash, so not an underscore, but an actual dash in between. So Kim-Gilbert, that should work. If it doesn't, do Kim-Gilbert. That one works every time because that is the Missy special. Nobody else does it, all right? So if you ever see a dash, you know that I came in contact with them because I created it. So there's just some little tips that you can do to start to get that first piece going. That's the top section, right? And again, look at my screen right now. That's what we're seeing. And even if we're on our mobile, that's the part we're going to see first. So even if you take the time for me, and I'll promise that you're going to sit down and make those changes after the call today, you're going to be in much better shape because those are going to be nice, easy changes you can do. They don't take a lot of time, and you're really going to be like, wow, I'm amazing after you're done. Any questions that you guys have about that, anything specific to your profile? You know, one of the things to keep in mind is everybody's going to have a different profile, right? Rhoda's going to have a different profile than Adele, than Gerald, than David. All of you have different experiences and different paths, and you all have different things that you want to get out of this. So if you're finding, gosh, I don't know, Missy, I feel like I'm really different than everybody else, contact me after the call, right? You all know that you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to walk through some different strategies and some help with you. So just keep that in mind. But like I said, I wanted to ask a question to see if there was any questions before we keep rolling through. No? You guys are such good listeners on mute. I love it. Okay, so let's go to
Rhoda had a question. Rhoda had a question.
My question is that one of the reasons that I have avoided carrying on back and forth conversation on LinkedIn is that I can't save it as easily forever as I can an email. So if I want to have you in a folder with all the back and forth conversation, I typically don't like to do it on LinkedIn. Once I've made the connection, I try to get them to use my email.
And that's fair enough. So, I mean, if you really wanted to start using LinkedIn to be able to do that, Rhoda, for your job, there are tools. So for instance, we use at Covance, we use a tool called Sales Navigator. You can purchase that personally. It doesn't have to be a corporate license. I don't remember, and I can find out very easily if you'd like the personal cost to that. Last I knew it was $19 a month, but that could have totally changed, and I don't want to make that promise to you if it's gone up. But the nice thing about that is Rhoda, if you have, I don't know if you have a CRM like a Salesforce or a Microsoft Dynamics or Sugar or anything, that you could integrate that and it would save those conversations for you. So there are multiple levels that you can take to make that happen, but you're absolutely right? I mean, the messaging feature is set up in LinkedIn, much like it is in a Facebook or an Instagram, where it's not meant to really have that business equivalent, which is kind of ironic, right? Because it's a professional site. You could always, again, if you have a CRM by any chance that you're keeping those documents in, you can put those copies and pastes of the messages over, but of course that's manual work and, would not be a lot of fun, right? So
I have one other question, Missy.
Yeah.
This has been super, super good for me. How can I control which notifications are more important to me and ones that I don't want to get? Because the people that are important to me, I find I can't even find them, and I'm not getting what I really want to see.
You mean, so Rhoda, so let me make sure that I understand. So if you can see my screen, you mean like these types of notifications?
Yes. Yes, in other words, I always get strangers instead of when I have a client and the client is on LinkedIn and I want to get everything. I want to see whatever it is that they're putting out, but I often don't see it. It just kind of goes away.
So I don't think that there's a way. I can play with it, and if not, I'll contact LinkedIn because they're my vendor. I work with them every day. So you can see over here on this left-hand side that we've got the view settings to improve your notifications.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if you click those and start drilling in. So conversations, let's just go ahead and choose that one right here. So if I click on my conversations, whether you knew it or not, and maybe you guys have thought, gosh, I don't see things like I used to. So look at here, activity on posts and comments you've responded to. So if I've responded to something, if somebody responds back, I don't get a notification. So I can turn those notifications on or off however I want to. But I don't think that you can drill into specific people, but I will definitely, let me play with that. Can I play with it and get back to you?
Sure.
And see if there's a way that I can manipulate the data on here.
Yeah.
If not, one of the things that's really nice about having friends at LinkedIn is I give them suggestions all the time. So I'm happy to give them my wish list of things that, would make things better. Yeah.
Misty, we had another question. Yes. Marianne, I think you had a question.
Ownership of those conversations. And also if you can back them up on the cloud.
To back your conversations up. No, there's no way to back up your conversations because again, it's really just, it's just here as that social platform. So you it wouldn't back up, but those conversations aren't going to go anywhere unless somebody else changes them. So let me pop back over to my profile real quick. So if I know, Marianne, that let's say I've made a post and I want to see what conversations have happened due to that post, right? So that's our next tier. So our first thing is we're going to clean up our profile, and then we want to start getting more active on LinkedIn. So if I roll down on my page, I can see any of my activity that I've had. So if I've posted, if I've commented to somebody, if I've liked, I can see all of that here. So when I see all, then I can drill into those so it's not lost. So let's say maybe I wanted to look at something that I've posted on LinkedIn and see what the activity has been about it. So yesterday was National First Responder Day. So I had posted a comment or an article about that that I had written out. So notice that clearly National Responder Day wasn't a big hit with my profile. And I see that because I had 4 likes total. That was it. I didn't have any comments. Nobody reshared it. So I can always come back here as my source of truth. And this is a great thing for you guys as you're posting out comments or out content, that you can come back here and you can start to look at statistics are available. You can click and look at your feed and how this did, right? So you'll see what topics are landing better. And it's kind of like you become your own social strategist because you're looking to see where did this go? Who were the people who looked at it? What companies were they in? What positions were they? Where did they live? And so you can start to get some of that data. You can see the reactions, the comments. So it'll let you know what topics work. Like I said, clearly first responders wasn't a hit in my network. Carving pumpkins was a huge hit. So who knows, right? So I have actually found that when I post content out here that's a little bit more off the beaten path, like putting out, this is my pumpkin that I carved this year, right? That's all my glory. People responded to that, right? When I posted something that was a little more stuffy about first responders, and that's not anything against first responders, don't take it that way. I didn't get a lot of movement. But stuff where it was more me being me and having my personality out here on LinkedIn, that's where people responded. So Marianne, I don't know that, I know I threw in some extra stuff there for you guys, but I don't know if that helps you to see kind of where you can go and find that information again.
Yeah, what I was really kind of interested in was, like Rhoda was talking about, working with clients on LinkedIn. And when I work with clients, especially if I use email, I save all of that, and a lot of it goes to cloud. So if I change my carrier, I still have all my emails. And I save those up to 7 years so that I have a record of interactions with them. And legally, it shows their intent, et cetera. So, and it also covers me for whatever I might do for them that they have to pay me for.
Absolutely. So Zach and I were messaging back and forth. So a huge thank you to Zach, because he's who got me here. So what I could do, like I said earlier, is I can copy and paste that entire conversation with Zach and I. And as well, if I don't delete it, it stays in here. It doesn't go away. Okay. So I have messages back from years gone by, because all of my messages are here. I don't delete any of them out. And you do have the option here at the top to search those messages. So if I type in Zach, in all likelihood, it should pull up just my conversations with Zach or anybody named Zach. So I do have that quick ability to search through there and see, to find somebody. So I just would not delete anything out of your inbox. And then, like Rhoda said, I think Rhoda made a really good point. Then move to email if that's easier. And honestly, for most people, that probably will be easier, because I'm going to see an email faster than I'm going to see a LinkedIn message. All right, I know I'm almost to my time. These are great questions. I absolutely love them. One of the other things that I was going to talk about today, and I'll be totally honest that it's one of the harder pieces to write, is your about section. But this is really for you guys in all of the different businesses that you're in, this is where you can showcase not only your personality, but your business and how the two work together. Your About section is a great place for you to start to build trust. And again, this is where I would also add in that, that extra layer of giving your contact information. So whatever contact information you would like to give out to people. Notice I don't have my phone number out there. There's no need for anybody to have my phone number, right? So I'm not going to post it out there. And the thing for you to remember when it comes to social media is I only want you to ever put content out there that makes you feel comfortable and confident. If it doesn't make you feel good to put your phone number out there or your email, then don't, right? There's nothing that says you have to follow any certain rules when it comes to this. And things I'm telling you today are all just suggestions. You know, I've had the benefit of studying LinkedIn day in and day out for 7 years. I have lots of experts that I follow on LinkedIn who've been really nice to the, you know, gal living in, you know, the Midwest to give me lots of advice and tips for free. And probably because I'm not a threat and they're going out and making $500 for sessions like this and up. So again, we go back to that whole, I'm a really bad salesperson. But so you have this option here where you can build out this About section. It's the harder piece. It's something that if you want to work on, I'm happy to work on it with you to help you with that, to walk you through. This would be the parts that I would say are the need to have. The rest of it is nice to have. You should have your experience. It should have your icon, if at all possible. If you have your own business and you don't have a LinkedIn company page, I highly recommend that you make one because people are going to look for that. It's another place too for you to put out content on your company and not just yourself. But if anything, even if you don't put content out, make a company page and give it an icon so that you look cleaner and your business looks more legit, right? Make sure that you've got your titles out there. Everything should have an icon no matter where you've worked. And as far back as you want to go is up to you. The great thing about LinkedIn is it can make you look older, younger, smarter. It's all in how you position your information on here. So if you started back in 1900 and you don't want it to be out there, then don't put it out there. I would say, you know, 10 years is probably appropriate. Anything past that, that's all on you. I have everything back almost as far as it needs to go. And it tells the story of my entire career. So if you came and looked at my profile and you start down here at the bottom and scroll your way up, you will see the good, the bad, and the ugly of everything that I've gone through. Was it a promotion? Was my company purchased? You know, did I leave the company? You'll see all of that information there. You can put your education out there. I did notice on a couple of you, I think that you had education, but it didn't have the icon, which means you probably have had your LinkedIn profile for a while and it was prior to when they put the icons on here. So always just go back. It's a quick little edit with the pencil. If you started to type in Purdue, it's going to immediately give you that icon or wherever you went to university. Licenses and certifications, volunteer. I will take one quick minute, just I know we're towards the end. For all of you, your volunteer experience is probably going to be important. This is a chance for you to show that you're not just the job, right? It's a way for you to highlight that you do more beyond that. And people start to understand more about who you are. It gives them something to talk to you about. And if they find that they have things in common as well, again, that trust, right? That trust is so important. So if we're sitting down at Starbucks and I'm going to meet with Mike and he goes, wow, I didn't know that you volunteered for the Blind Children's Foundation. I used to too. We now have that connection. We have something to talk about. So put the things that you do out there. We want to be more than the job. We want to be somebody who's really making a difference in our community. And that's really important, right? Recommendations. If you've had a great client interaction, don't be afraid to ask for a recommendation. Client recommendations are going to matter far more than your friends, right? A lot of times when I scroll through and I look at people's recommendations, I'm going to give you a quick little tip here. If they've received 9 and given 9, that's probably been a, hey, Diane, I'll give you 1, you give me 1. And that's how that normally works. So we want to make sure that they're genuine, that they're authentic, they're organic to what we've accomplished and what we've done. So let's make sure that we have those out there. And again, don't be afraid to ask. If somebody had a great experience, ask for that experience. Say, hey, would you mind writing this? You know, I love everything you've said. It's been great working with you. And you can have that conversation ahead of time, and then you can just send the recommendation right through LinkedIn. If you've had any honors and accomplishments that you want to highlight out there, notice that LinkedIn has now put them all the way at the end. It's like being the A underneath all the papers on the refrigerator, right? But still make sure that you put them out there so that people can see it. If there's anything else that you're thinking of that you need, you can click on this blue add profile section, and it will show you lots of different things that you can add. Up here under intro, there is a chance, if any of you are looking, you can click to say that you're looking for a new job. Some of you maybe have noticed the green open to work that a lot of people have this year because of the job changes with COVID. That's how they've gotten that around their picture. You know, your about section, it will tell you when you have one. Featured, if you've had any posts, if you've written any articles, if there's links to different pieces, if you have media for your business, let's say you've got a couple of really nice ads, you can put that and embed that all into your LinkedIn profile. So there's lots of things that you can do with your profile even before you go out and start interacting out here and sharing posts and content. I think that puts me at a right about time. I could talk for probably 4 days about nothing but LinkedIn. So figuring out how to condense all of this into 40 minutes or so was super difficult. But you've got a resource. Contact me if you need anything. And thanks, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to pass it back over to you, Keith.
Hey, no problem, Missy. Hey, Missy, make sure that you, again, type that information that they can get a hold of you, or let me just be upfront and just remind people, you can look up Missy's profile and we don't have to worry about all these little notes and stuff. This was a fantastic presentation. I have just simply been intimidated by LinkedIn. A lot of stuff, a lot of decisions to make. My profile, what am I on the left foot? Am I on the right foot? Before, after, old Keith, new Keith. My LinkedIn is terrible. And last week, one of our speakers, Diane, she said, Keith, you need to up your game. And she is so right. So I'm gonna have to deal. I'm sorry, we're blunt at CBN. We just tell each other the truth. So I am going to be working on that. Hey, before we start wrapping up and going, once again, Missy, thank you so much. Hey, all you guys, I appreciate you guys all showing up. Are there any questions for Missy before I start my wrap up? Before I do that, thank you for the referrals. She was great, buddy. I like this. This was pretty good. Any questions for Missy before? I know she had a long presentation, but we have time, about 4 minutes. Any questions for Missy? Adele, please.
Yes, thank you, Keith. Missy, many of us probably have the free version of LinkedIn. How important is it to have maybe a higher level like premium or sales navigator to get the most out of LinkedIn? What's your opinion on that, please?
I don't think you need it. If you want my honest opinion. So when LinkedIn first started and you had, the basic and the professional, there was a lot more advantages, but there's really not now. So LinkedIn really started to turn more of their money focus into, like, they've got 4 different buckets, basically. One of them being the sales navigator piece for sales professionals. You can totally do it without it. There's the job seeker, right? So if you're looking for a job, you can pay extra to go out and have it help you. And then there's also, job recruiters will use it. So there's those different avenues. I don't think you need it. I really don't. I think I can teach you to a point where you wouldn't have to have it and pay that extra money.
Oh, Missy, I bought LinkedIn Premium a year ago. And the reason that from spending the money was that I wanted to be able to approach anyone that I wanted to without having to have them accept me first, or I could write to them. And that was the advantage of LinkedIn Premium. So I think that's worth the extra.
And Rhoda, can I be nosy? What is LinkedIn Premium running now? Do you mind sharing that?
I think it's $60-something a month,
Okay.
so it's not cheap.
Yeah.
But I've had it, and that way I can ask you, even if I haven't yet connected with you, do you know such and such, or can you help me with XYZ?
Yeah, I mean, and that is a great option. The other thing that you guys will get from it too is, you know, when you click and it says who's viewed my profile, it'll actually show you more folks that have viewed your profile.
Mm-hmm.
So to Rhoda's point, I mean, that the being able to connect with anybody and message them and then seeing who's been looking at your profile is the advantage. I would also, and Rhoda, kudos to you because you've got a ton of information on your LinkedIn profile. I actually told Zach, I was like, man, I was blown away by Rhoda. And so, you know, it looks like you're out there and you're already doing stuff. So if you guys are in a different spot where you're moving into it, I wouldn't jump on premium yet. I would get to that point, save the money for a couple months. And then if you feel like, all right, I've got this, LinkedIn is now my daily jam, I'm all over it, then let's get you the premium. But I would for right now not, honestly.
I looked at it and it's close to 80 now. I did the free
80,
trial
yeah.
for it for like $79.95 or whatever. And I had much less success when I contacted somebody via InMail than I did just contacting them right from the contact button. So I certainly did not move forward with it, and I've had much success. You know,
and
just
it
utilizing
differs
the
business
regular.
to business. Yeah, absolutely. And since Microsoft bought LinkedIn, everything keeps kind of going up for prices. So that's why I was curious, Rhoda. I hadn't looked at it for a while, and they seem to change the prices all the time. So always make sure you're looking at that too.
Okay, so I want to keep us. Hey, I'm going to keep us on time. Go ahead, Zach. I'll give you a minute.
Yeah, one last question. Can you speak for a quick second on the difference between Sales Navigator and Premium?
The Sales Navigator and the Premium. Yeah, I mean, I can send you guys like a side by side of all of the differences. The Sales Navigator, so like how we use it is that we have everybody on Sales Navigator, so everybody can link together. So that's the enterprise corporate way to use it, which is the reason that we have it. For you guys, the Premium to Sales Navigator, there's not a lot of differences. Like I said, I'll send you a side-by-side where it shows the checks of what's the difference. I think that makes more sense. There's not enough difference, honestly, for somebody on a personal level to typically buy Sales Navigator. But we can walk through that, or I can send you resources to show you.
Thank you so much. Hey, I'm going to cut you off, Rhoda, because I want to hey, Gerald, if you don't mind, if you'll give us about a 1-minute introduction. You got on late, but I do want to make sure I give everybody an opportunity.
So I'm doing half price on estate planning, wills, trust, estates, powers of attorney, living wills, powers of attorney. And once in a while, I'll do an injury case or a wrongful death case. If it's meritorious, I don't take any junk. But refer your high net worth people to me because I love y'all. I know you're all high net worth, so give me a call.
And that's Gerald Count. Hey, we are going to close this thing out. If you guys will do me a favor, this does get recorded. I do send it out. So I like to close everything out with a smile and a wave. So if you'll just take a minute and take a smile, because I'm going to take a picture of this. Gerald, go ahead and smile. Yeah. And I will see all you guys next week. Our speaker is Suresh. So I'll see as many of you guys as possible next week. So thank you so much for attending. Zach, thank you for the referral. Missy, great presentation. Hopefully I'm not so scared and intimidated now, and I'll go out there and do what I'm supposed to do. Diane, thanks for kicking my butt, because I'm now embarrassed. I'm a grown man and I'm embarrassed, but you're right. I need to do better. So with that, I'll see all you guys next week. Bye-bye.